Every cabin steward keeps a mental file on the senior passengers in their hallway, how you greet them, what you ask for, what you leave behind. And that file decides whether your service quietly upgrades or quietly stalls for the rest of the sailing. Most travelers over 65 have no idea this log exists, and the small things that land you in the remembered column take less than a minute a day. I've spent years watching this play out from the housekeeping side of the door, which cabins get the warmer treatment and which get only the contract. Stay through to notice number 12. It's the one nobody talks about, and the moment your cruise ends with a story instead of a bill. Notice number 1, how you leave the cabin each morning. Here's something most travelers our age never realize. The way the cabin looks when the steward steps in around 9 a.m. for morning service tells us everything about you. Towels balled in the sink, wet swimsuits on the floor, room service trays still on the bed. Those cabins go to the bottom of the rotation. The neat ones get the soft handling. It's not a punishment system. It's a memory system. I watched this pattern repeat on every sailing I observed. Same hallway, same 12 cabins, same time. The senior cabins that left their towels on the rack and their trays outside the door got their afternoon refresh first, every single day. The ones that left a small mess got skipped until evening. Same steward, same passengers, same week, different speed. Nobody is told. It just happens. Your defense: 2 minutes before you leave each morning, hang towels back on the rack. Slide any room service tray into the hallway before walking out. Drop wet swimsuits on the balcony rail or in the bathtub, never on the floor. Magic phrase on day 1. I'll keep the cabin easy for you. Let me know if I'm doing anything different from what you prefer. The next one shows up before the cabin ever does, and it sets the entire tone of the sailing within the first 60 seconds of meeting. Notice number 2, the first hello at embarkation. This is the one that genuinely surprises people. On embarkation day, your steward catches you in the hallway within the first 90 minutes. The exchange lasts maybe 12 seconds, but the way you greet them in those 12 seconds, eye contact, your name, whether you ask theirs, sets the cabin file for the whole sailing. The brain of a cabin steward is built around faces and names. I watched this play out from the desk at the end of every corridor. The seniors who paused, made eye contact, and gave their own name first were the ones the steward would describe to me by name an hour later. The ones who walked past with a quick nod became the couple in 8245 for the rest of the week. The first group got the extra ice. The second got the standard tray. Your defense: when you first meet your steward in the hallway, stop and make eye contact. Don't walk past. Give your first name and ask theirs back in the same breath. Use the name once more before walking into the cabin so it locks in for both of you. Magic phrase: I'm name, and you are? Good to meet you. I'll try to stay out of your way this week. The next one happens silently, and it's the single door indicator most travelers our age handle wrong. Every single sailing. Notice number 3, the do not disturb indicator. Here's something the cruise line will not put on the welcome card. Every cabin door has a service indicator. Green for service, red or do not disturb for privacy. It looks simple, but how you use that indicator across a 7-day sailing tells the steward whether you respect their schedule or treat them like an on-demand service. The indicator is not a switch. It's a conversation. I watched this happen on every sailing I worked. The cabins that left do not disturb past 1 p.m. and never reached out got serviced late or skipped entirely, and most of the time the passengers thought their steward was being lazy. The ones that flipped to green by 11 a.m. and back to do not disturb by 9 p.m. got their cabin turned twice without being asked once. Your defense? Flip the indicator to green by 11 a.m., the latest, before you leave the cabin. Switch it back to do not disturb only after evening turndown is complete. Never leave do not disturb past 1 p.m. without telling the steward at the door. Magic phrase on day 1, I'll flip the sign when I leave. Come in whenever fits your rotation. The next one decides whether your steward becomes a passing face in the hallway or a name you'll still remember years later. Notice number 4, whether you learn their name. This is the one passengers push back on hard until it happens to them. Cabin stewards work a contract of 6 to 9 months at sea, away from family, in a cabin smaller than yours, sometimes serving 20 to 30 rooms a day. They are not invisible labor. They are people with names, and most senior passengers never use them. That gap between thank you and thank you, name, is the single biggest service unlock on the entire ship. I watched this every single sailing. The seniors who used the steward's name twice a day, not 5 times, twice, got requests fulfilled faster, got extra towels without asking, and remembered when they walked back onto the ship a year later. The seniors who never asked the name spent the whole week being technically well served and quietly forgotten. Same steward, same week, 2 completely different sailings. Your defense? On day 1, ask the steward's name directly. Don't wait to spot it on a name tag. Write it on the back of your key card or the room service menu so you don't blank. Use it twice a day, once at morning service, once at turndown. Magic phrase, thank you, name. Have a good night. The next one is the rhythm of tipping and what day 1 money actually buys you on a cruise ship. Notice number 5, tipping pattern. Day 1 versus final night. Here's something most American travelers will not catch. Cruise lines run daily gratuity charges. Those cover the pool. The real signal is the extra envelope. Stewards notice timing more than amount. A small cash tip on day 1, even a 20, tells them, this passenger sees me. A larger envelope on the last night closes the week instead of shaping it. I watched this pattern repeat on every line I observed. Seniors who handed a small envelope on day 1 with their name and cabin written on the front got priority service from day 2. Faster turndown, extra ice, the quiet upgrades, the steward controls. The ones who waited until the final night got a warm thank you. Both work. They just shape different cruises. Your defense. On day 1, prepare a small cash tip in a plain envelope. Write your name, cabin number, and the sailing dates on the front. Hand it over directly and keep your daily auto gratuities in place, never instead of. Magic phrase, this is for you, not the pool. Thank you for taking care of us this week. The next one is what you keep on the nightstand, and what every senior cabin tells the steward about your health before you say a word. Notice number 6, medication storage habits. This one nobody warns you about until you've already missed it. Cabin stewards see every nightstand and every bathroom counter on turndown. Medication left in the wrong spot, open on the counter, scattered in the drawer, stored next to the bathroom heat vent, quietly gets noted. Sustained heat degrades insulin. Humidity ruins blister packs. Open bottles by the sink get knocked into the drain. The steward sees it and rarely says anything. I watched the same scene replay across every line. A senior couple on day 3 would lose a pill in the bathroom drain, or open a humidity-warped blister pack, or find their evening dose missing. And the steward would already know what happened from the cabin walkthrough on day 1. The information was there. The conversation never started. Your defense? Store medication in the safe, in the original bottle, inside a sealed plastic bag. Never leave bottles on the bathroom counter or beside any heat vent. Tell your steward on day 1 so the safe stays untouched at turndown. Magic phrase on day 1, I keep my medication in the safe. Please leave the safe untouched during turndown. The next one happens at turndown, and the request you make in that one moment becomes the way the steward remembers your entire cabin. If this is landing, drop the cruise line you sail most often in the comments. I want to see which lines train their stewards the warmest and which leave seniors invisible. The next 6 notices are the ones I'd push hardest if I were sitting across from my own parents. Notice number 7, what you ask for at turndown. This is the one that genuinely shifts your whole sailing. Turndown is the second cabin visit each day, still nightly on premium lines like Princess, Holland America, and Celebrity, and on request on the mass market lines that scaled it back since 2024. The 1 or 2 specific requests you make in that window become your signature in the cabin log. Extra pillow on the chair side, robe laid out, ice bucket filled before dinner ends. Those small lines get repeated nightly without asking again. I watched this build into a pattern by midweek on every sailing. The seniors who asked for one specific comfort on day 2 walked into that exact setup, untouched and unmentioned, every night after. The ones who made a different request each evening got served fine, but never settled into the rhythm that makes a cabin feel like home. Your defense: on day 2, pick one specific turn-down request that matters most to you. If you're on a line that cuts nightly service, ask for a twice-a-day turn-down on day 1. It's still available on request. Ask for it once, then stop asking. The steward will repeat it nightly without prompting. Magic phrase: if you could leave, extra pillow or robe or ice bucket each evening. Same thing every night. No need to remember. The next one most seniors hand to the steward without realizing, and it travels to the dining room within the hour. Notice number 8, birthday or anniversary mentions. Here's something most seniors never realize the steward acts on. When a senior passenger mentions in passing, at turn down, in the hallway, at the door, that it's a birthday, an anniversary, or a first cruise after a loss, that information rarely stays in the cabin. The steward passes it to the dining room within the hour. The dining room passes it to the maitre d'. One sentence travels fast across a ship. I watched this in real time on a Caribbean sailing. A widow in her 70s mentioned at turndown on day 3 that her late husband had loved cruises. That was the full sentence. By dinner the next night, the dining room had moved her to a window two-top, and her cabin had fresh flowers and a handwritten card from the captain. She had asked for none of it. Your defense: on day 1, mention any occasion you're celebrating. In one sentence, not 3. Add, no big deal if you genuinely don't want a fuss. The steward will dial it down. Don't walk the news to the dining room first. Let the cabin steward open that door for you. Magic phrase: just so you know, we're celebrating our 50th on this sailing. No fuss needed. The next one is the request seniors are most afraid to make, and it's the request stewards say earns the most respect. Notice number 9, laundry and ironing requests. This is the one almost nobody our age gets right the first time. Ships offer laundry and pressing through the steward. Small bag, closet, price list inside. The trap isn't the cost, it's the timing. A bag dropped at 9 a.m. on a port day comes back the next morning. The same bag dropped at 4 p.m. on a sea day lands behind the ship's overflow and may not return until the night before disembarkation. I watched this on every long sailing. A senior couple on a 14-day cruise drops laundry late on the second sea day, hoping to be ready for a formal night. The bag lands at the back of the queue, and the formal shirt comes back the night after the formal dinner is already over. The shirt would have been ready in time if it had gone in earlier. Your defense: drop laundry before 9 a.m. on a port day, never after lunch on a sea day. Tell the steward you're not in a rush, that one line moves your bag up the queue. Pull anything you need for a formal night within 48 hours and hand press it instead. Magic phrase: whenever fits the rotation, no rush on our end. The next one happens through the wall, and the way you handle it earns the steward's respect or quietly burns it. Notice number 10, noise or neighbor complaints. Here's something nobody will explain until it's already changed your service. Senior cabins often sit near families, near service corridors. Noise happens. How you handle the first complaint and who you bring it to is when the steward decides how much they'll step in for you. Going to guest services without telling your steward signals, I don't trust you. Telling the steward first signals, I'm with you on this. I watched this on a Mediterranean sailing trip. A senior couple had a family with 3 children in the next balcony cabin. They came to the desk on day 1. Quiet voice, not angry, and asked me to mention it to the steward before going further. The steward had a quiet word with the family that afternoon. The noise stopped. The senior couple finished the cruise without ever filing a complaint. Your defense: take noise issues to your cabin steward first, never directly to guest services. Keep your voice calm and your phrasing short. The steward will translate it for you. Use guest services as the second step only if the steward's quiet word doesn't hold. Magic phrase: could you mention to the neighbors that we're early sleepers? No need to make it a thing. The next one is the question seniors are nervous to ask in port. and it earns the deepest insider answer of the cruise. Notice number 11. The port question you ask. This is the one most travelers over 65 hand away without realizing. Every port day, the steward fields the same surface question. What's worth seeing? Most seniors get the rehearsed answer, the cruise line's excursion list. But there's a second layer. The question that opens it isn't what's good in port. It's what would you do in port if you only had 4 hours and didn't book an excursion? Different question, different answer. I watched the same conversation on every sailing. The seniors who asked the rehearsed question got the rehearsed answer. The ones who asked the second version got a folded napkin, a family-run restaurant in the local language, the cab fare, the time to beat the late tender crowd, the dock vendor who inflates prices for cruise badges. That information never appears in the port talk. Your defense: skip "What's good in port" as your opening question. It triggers the script. Ask the second version at the desk or at turndown, never at a packed port talk. Bring a small notepad to write down the answer. The steward's version comes fast and specific. Magic phrase: if you only had 4 hours here and didn't book an excursion, where would you go? The last one is the one I never expected to land this hard, and it's how your cruise ends with a story instead of a bill. Notice number 12, the end of cruise envelope and what's actually in it. Here's the one I never expected to land this hard. On disembarkation morning, most senior passengers hand the steward a final envelope. Cash, a card, a quiet thank you. The amount matters less than what's inside the card. A short handwritten note with the steward's name, your name, and one thing they did you'll remember. That note goes home. It gets taped to a shared crew cabin wall, shown to family on a video call, kept in a uniform pocket for months. I watched this happen across every line I worked. The cabins that left only cash got the same warm goodbye as everyone else. The ones that left a card with the steward's name on the front and 3 handwritten lines inside, those were the ones the steward kept. I once saw a steward carry that same folded card in his uniform pocket for 6 more months, pulling it out at the desk on slow nights, reading it once, and putting it back. The cash had been spent the same week. The note was still being read. Your defense: on the last evening, write a short card with the steward's name on the front. Inside the card, write your name, where you're from, and one specific thing they did this week. Hand the envelope on disembarkation morning, not the night before. Magic phrase to write, "Thank you, name. We'll be telling this story for years." That note is the one thing the cruise line never built, never charged for, and the steward never forgets. Now, you know what most travelers our age never find out before they disembark: the small things that turn a 7-day sailing into a cabin that remembers your name for years. Most seniors hand over the same amount of money the cabin next door does and walk off with a completely different sailing. The next thing I'd put in front of my own parents is what the dining room steward notices that the cabin steward never sees, and the single behavior that gets seniors moved to a window two-top within 2 nights. That's exactly what I'm covering next. See you on the next one.